Dr. Lee, and we're now going to cover cardiovascular and lymphatic systems. MBC 102, Unit 5 lecture. The objectives of this presentation are to identify the organs and other structures of the cardiovascular and lymphatic systems, define and spell the word parts, build and analyze medical terms using word parts, define, pronounce, and spell the disease and disorder, diagnostic, surgical, and complementary terms for the cardiovascular and lymphatic systems. Interpret the meanings of abbreviations and read medical documents and interpret medical terminology contained in them. The function of the cardiovascular system is to nourish the body by transporting nutrients and oxygen to the cells and removing carbon dioxide and other waste products. So here's a good graph of the interior of the heart. So you have the aorta, which is the major artery, and you have the superior vena cava, which is one of the major veins. And you have all the other ventricles and veins and arteries that support the heart, okay? You have the pulmonary artery, you have the left pulmonary artery, you have the mitral valve, the aortic valve, you have the left ventricle and the right ventricle, the epicardium, the myocardium, the endocardium, and all of the other cavities that comprise the heart. And this is just an anterior view of the heart. Now, microcirculation is what happens at the very microscopic level, okay? So you have that's where the pulmonary artery and the pulmonary vein meet, okay? And this is where oxygen is exchanged for waste, and this is how the body functions. And it goes throughout the entire body. You have where you have pulmonary arteries and hepatic veins and hepatic arteries and renal vein and renal arteries. And basically that's goes throughout the entire body. So vessels, the red ones are vessels that are transporting oxygenated blood. The blue are where vessels are transporting deoxygenated blood. And the purple is where they are exchanging gases. Now, the cardiovascular system is composed of several different areas. So you have the heart, which is the muscular organ the size of a closed fist, and it's located behind the breastbone and between the lungs. It pumps circulated blood throughout the body. You have the upper chambers of the heart, which are the right and left atrium. You have the lower chambers, which are the right and left ventricle. And you have the cardiac septum, which separates the right and left sides of the heart. The tricuspid valve is located between the right atrium and the right ventricle. And the bicuspid valve, or the mitral valve, is located between the left atrium and the left ventricle. Then you have the pericardium, which is the outer layer of the heart. And you have the myocardium, which is the middle thick muscular layer. And the endocardium is the inner lining of the heart. Now you have blood vessels are also comprised of the cardiovascular system. And these are tube-like structures that carry blood throughout the body. So you have arteries, those carry blood containing oxygen and other nutrients. These are carried away from the heart to the body cells, except for the pulmonary artery, which carries carbon dioxide and other waste products to the lungs. Now the arterioles are the smallest arteries, and the aorta is the largest artery in the body. You also have the plasma. It's the liquid portion of the blood in which the cells float. The cells of the blood are the erythrocytes. These are red blood cells that carry oxygen. You have the leukocytes, which are white blood cells, and those fight against infection. And you have the platelets or thrombocytes for coagulation. Now, the veins carry blood containing carbon dioxide and other waste products back to the heart, except again for the pulmonary vein, which carries oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. Now, the venules are the smallest veins in the body. The vena cava is the largest vein in the body. Capillaries are where the connection happens between the arterioles and the venules. And these exchange the gases that take place. And that is the end of this presentation.